The mindset of listen a little, contemplate a lot. I am someone who doesn't like to listen to sermons too much. I prefer to listen a little and contemplate a lot. Personally, if I listen too much, the knowledge I distill from the sermon will funnel too much into my memory, and I won't discern the reasonableness on my own. I listen to the sermons attentively and with deference, and only memorize a few of the teacher's Dhamma metaphors, ubaya, if the Dhamma appears to fit with my mindset. It isn't necessary to follow the example word for word as the teacher has presented it. That is merely a matter of literary style. As for your own literary style, you must use mindful wisdom, sati panya, and your own capability. The quality of your wisdom's thoroughness and intelligence is what you have developed on your own. If you mimic other people's knowledge too much, your wisdom will all be memorized theory. As a consequence, the results of your practice will not be solid and sure. When you build something with your own blood, sweat, and tears, you pay special attention to it and take great care of it. When you obtain it or borrow it from someone else, the degree of care and attention lessens. The love and attention you heap on a child created from your own blood versus a child you've adopted is bound to differ as well. In that vein, the wisdom that you build up on your own, whether modest or great in magnitude, is something in which you take pride. It's like counting money at a bank. Even if millions of dollars passed your hands in a day, you would feel indifferent about it. But if you were to count your own money, even if it wasn't a large sum, you'd feel pride. You can take that money and buy whatever you want. Similarly, if the wisdom is developed on your own, you can use it to solve problems. That's why they say that one is one's own refuge. If you study and mimic what you read in the manuals too much, your wisdom will be an imitation. You won't have any wisdom of your own. You consult the manuals whenever you wish to know a Dhamma topic, but that knowledge will not solve your problems when they arise. It is like Venerable Photila, who carried the scriptures and studied the Tipitaka. He was fluent in all Dhamma topics and their denotations. He could give Dhamma sermons, but the Dhamma he spoke of was plagiarized. He didn't possess any of his own Dhamma. Perhaps he forgot that it wasn't his own Dhamma. It's reminiscent of the adage, drowning in knowledge but incapable of solving your own problems. Thus he is called Photila, meaning one who carries empty scriptures. I found that Venerable Photila's story was an excellent cautionary tale for me. Thus, when you listen to your teacher's sermons, if you possess a measure of wisdom and intelligence, you will be able to select a Dhamma topic to practice. If you don't possess any wisdom, you will be another Venerable Photila. My objective in explaining this is to help you see that you shouldn't rely solely on theoretical knowledge, pariyati, or deem it sufficient to know Dhamma only in name. Learning Dhamma in name is not enough. You must also select a Dhamma topic well suited to you to practice. It's what is called Dhamma patipati, practicing Dhamma in accordance with Dhamma. Focus on practicing the Dhamma topic that you think will enable you to solve your problems. It is as if you know the characteristics of your own sickness. You must use medication expressly for that sickness in order to cure it. Once the medication corresponds to the sickness will subside and eventually disappear. It won't do to know all the medications by name, but be unable to discern which of them to take when you fall ill. Likewise, all the knowledge you have acquired is merely Dhamma in name. You don't see or know the true Dhamma yet. Because you lack mindfulness and wisdom, you are unable to select a Dhamma topic to use in solving your own problems. Consequently, you continue to question and doubt the scriptures. There is an ancient saying, "The blind oft speak of what they see, fools oft speak of what they know." This is a natural part of reality. I especially liked Luang Por Thoon's Dhamma metaphors, ubaya. He would often present short examples so that the monks and novices, samaneras, could develop their own wisdom. The monks and samaneras learned to observe, to discern the links between cause and effect, and to have a thorough and constant grasp on reality. After bathing Luang Por, we headed up to Luang Por Thoon's hut, kuti, to listen to the Dhamma. That day, he told us, "Dogs like to wander according to time and season, but this isn't considered too bad. Forest tradition Kammatthana monks are much worse than dogs because they wander without regard for time or season. This short Dhamma lesson was enough to strike a chord in Kammatthana monks. As we left to contemplate his words, we were unable to face one another. I don't know which Kammatthana monks were struck by this Dhamma metaphor, only that it struck me hard. From then on, I was conscious not to let my thoughts wander and was mindful of what I was doing at all times. If my mind was not composed, it would wander even more than dogs do. That would put me below dogs. Every time Luang Por spoke, wherever it was, there was always a Dhamma metaphor to contemplate. One day, two monks with differing views, Titi, were quarreling. After Luang Por Bua had bathed, we went up to his kuti for a Dhamma lesson. He said, "Last night, two dogs were baring their teeth at one another," but didn't explain further. We bowed and took our leave. As we descended from the kuti, we whispered amongst ourselves, trying to interpret the metaphor. After some investigation, we found that there really was an argument between two monks. Those two monks appeared to be quite ashamed. No other monks had any issues with each other. From then on, the monks and samaneras were constantly cautious with their words. After we finished the Patimokkha chanting, Luang Por Bua told us that the temple is a place for peace and quiet. No one is permitted to argue or fight here. In the event of a disagreement, those people will instantly be ejected from the temple grounds. We were right in the middle of the vasa too, but we were lucky because there were no more fights between monks or samaneras. Everyone was determined to practice to the best of their ability.